5 things to consider before purchasing a 6th generation Camaro. This video is about the Camaros starting from the year 2016 and up, and in particular I'm going to talk about the Camaro SS because that's what I own. So number 1, this goes across all the Camaro trims from the LS all the way to the ZL1. The visibility is god-awful. You've heard about it, read about it, maybe even experienced it firsthand, but I have an awful experience. Within the first 3 weeks of ownership, I remember one day I was pulling into my office area at I guess an intersection, if you will. This lady had the right of way. She was supposed to she was supposed to go straight. I was supposed to turn left. Unfortunately, I cut her off and turned left. To my surprise, someone honked at me and was behind me, and I could not believe that my right pillar and right side mirror blocked out, get this, a Honda CR-V, a compact SUV, got blocked out, and that was my first real-world experience with just how bad the Camaro's visibility truly is. I mean, compared to the Mustang or Challenger, it's not even close, I would say. Like, that's just my honest-to-God opinion. Chevrolet needs to somehow, I know it's like a design thing for sports cars to make it aerodynamic even, but they have to find a way to make it pretty damn good to see out of the car. I mean, the Mustang does a beautiful job at letting you see enough out of the car, as well as the Challenger. And the rear view mirror of the Camaro, forget about it. I mean, it's just as bad as a convertible. All you can see is at best, the headlights of the person behind you. And I get that's all you really need to see, but in my opinion, if I want to be a good driver and a safer driver, I wish I could see a tad bit more. Number 2, unlike the Mustang GTs that are being sold, and some of the Challengers and Chargers as well, the Camaro SS, starting with the SS trim level, so the 1LE, the ZL1, and upwards as well, they only come with ultra high or high performance summer tires, meaning if you live in the north and during winter time, and this is your daily driving car, you're gonna have to buy another set of wheels and tires fitted with all season or winter tires, because you will be unable to drive this car. Period. I mean, it gets under 40 degrees a lot up there. I would know. I used to live in Indiana, and having moved down to Texas, I could get away with summer tires all year round. Granted, it's not recommended, but there are only a handful of days where it ices over here, and I could just work from home. So I avoid all those issues of having to buy another set of wheels and tires. Number 3, trunk space. That is one of the things where I know it's nitpicky because this is a sports car and it's a coupe. So across the board, whether it's German or JDM, you're gonna get the same concept where manufacturers purposely make the trunk kind of tight. It's nothing more than a grocery getter, right? But for this generation of Camaros, it only comes with 9 cubic feet. It's actually down from 5th generation. So the Camaros from 2010 to 15, they had 11.3 cubic feet. So it went over 2 cubic feet smaller. And just to put in perspective, it's a whole 50% smaller than the 6th generation, the current generation Mustang, that has 13.5 cubic feet. So compared to a family sedan like a Honda Accord that has about 15.8 cubic feet, the Mustang does a pretty damn good job. I mean, it was a big trunk and the opening was pretty damn good. With the Camaro, you've heard it from RP Productions video as well if you watch this video. The trunk opening for the Camaro absolutely sucks. It's just way too small. I have another bad experience with it. I was fortunate to have ordered the 9 and 10 inch set for the Z28 replica wheels because my 10-inch cardboard box, they hardly fit at all. Like, I had to awkwardly angle the cardboard box and then slowly slide it into the trunk as to not damage the rubber and carpeting in the trunk. And I couldn't imagine, had I ordered the 11-inch set, the rear set, they wouldn't have fit. I would have had to rented a car just to make sure those wheels would get to me, or just have them delivered to me. But that was one of those things that was unfortunate. Number 4, this is another nitpicky thing. It goes across all sports coupes again, but the rear seats, they are pretty much non-existent. And what I mean is they're not practical at all. I know They're not designed to be practical, but at least with the Mustang, I'm going to use the Mustang a lot to compare with. And the Mustang that I had 2015, I'm a little under 5'10", and where I sat and where the seat was positioned, you had about 3 to 4 inches of legroom in the back. However, with the Camaro, again, seating position similar, you at best had 1 to 2 inches. So whenever you do have that third person that inevitably will have to sit in your Camaro, they're going to be laying over the rear seats because, quite frankly, they cannot sit upright at all. And I always felt bad that they had to do that for like a 20-minute ride. So like my girlfriend, who's 5'4", was able to comfortably even sleep in the back of my Mustang's seats, but in the Camaro she can't do the same, and that's just absolutely bizarre. They might as well be deleted to save 40 to 60 pounds. Number 5, this is something that I personally did not expect. It's called AFM, Active Fuel Management, and in layman's terms, that is cylinder deactivation. So this is a technology that GM has implemented for a few years now, since I believe the early 2010s. And they're starting with their trucks, their pickup trucks. So GMC, Chevy, Silverados and whatnot, those trucks, whether it's a small block or big block V8, has this technology. And the whole purpose behind AFM, or cylinder deactivation, is just to save gas mileage, or increase gas mileage rather. So it works. So here's a photo. For my Camaro with a 455 horsepower and torque, I was able to get a whopping 31.8 mpg, guys. Like, pause for a second, because wow, that is Mustang EcoBoost level, if not higher, especially if you own the Performance Pack EcoBoost Mustang. Like, that's pretty damn good for a V8. Granted, you know, it's technically cheating, but not really, because that's pretty good. I averaged 72 miles, so that was highway speeds, guys, and I traveled over 100 miles, as you can see in the photo. So that is absolutely remarkable. Granted, again, AFM only comes in the 8-speed automatic, so this cannot be achieved if you have the 6-speed manual. With that said, there is a big but. So even though you may get great gas mileage, right? Like 18 to 21 even in the city, depending how you drive, and if you drive in the quote-unquote standard or manual mode. The big but though is you will hear this grinding noise in the engine bay, and to me, having never owned a car with this technology, it scared the living daylights out of me during the first few days of ownership. I thought for sure my car was a lemon car. I took it to the dealership. They laughed at me because it was normal. And of course, I went back, did my own research, because the dealership sometimes doesn't know what they're talking about, right? And it's sometimes they want your stuff to break so that they could charge you, right? So upon looking at forums and YouTube videos, it's actually a normal thing, because the computer, the ECU, has to decide whether or not to go into V8 or V4 mode, and vice versa. It's effectively, valves get shut or open, and then fuel stops or starts getting injected into the cylinders. So you hear a lot of noise coming from the engine compartment, and that's all normal. This is the same across the other big block or small block V8s from 2010 onwards with this technology. So that's just something you need to keep in mind when purchasing this car. If you hate that noise, you can have someone professionally tune it out so the check engine light does not come on as well. Because you could buy a device that turns off AFM so that your car's always in V8 mode, but your gas mileage will decrease and a check engine light will be thrown. So there's that. Anyways, those are my 5 things that you should consider before purchasing a 6th generation Camaro. I hope this video was informative and helps you make a better educated decision on what is your next sports car that you want to buy. If you like this video, please subscribe, check out my brother's channel, Bladed Angel, and there's more videos to come just like this. Please stay tuned. Peace out.